Hello, I'm Helen from Journal with Purpose and welcome to my latest YouTube video. I'm really excited today because I've just released a new product in my shop and it's a selection of printed patterned papers. So this is something I've been working on for a little while now. There's 10 different pattern papers in there. I absolutely love using papers in my journals. I think it's a really lovely way to bring a quick background or tear them up and use them in collage. So in this video I'm going to be sharing some of the pages that I've already created using them and some decorated tags, and also do some journaling using them throughout the video. And I will of course leave a link to my shop down below. If you are one of my members on Patreon, then thank you. But I've also shared it over there as a bonus free printable. So if you're not on Patreon and you're interested in signing up, then you'd also get access to that bundle as well. Well, I really hope you like them as much as I loved working on them, and I hope you enjoy the video too. I'm going to start off by sharing with you the 10 papers that are included in the soft floral bundle. And I've designed all of these so that they'll coordinate really well together if you want to tear them up and use them in collage, or that they'll hopefully just work really well as standalone pieces in your journals too. So I've gone for lots of florals and leaves. There's a few hearts and different shapes in there as well. And you'll notice that some of the patterns kind of repeat, but with a slightly different colour palette. And I just had so much fun creating these. I love using printables in my journal, so to actually be able to spend some time really looking at some designs I'd love to use myself and putting them together in this bundles being a really rewarding thing to do. And I've got these two as the final ones. So I've gone for some that I see as more as being kind of your main images that you might want to use in your journals, and then some as little backup images that would go, say, really well in collage or in one of the exercises that I'm going to share with you today. So this is one of the journal pages that I've created. So I used the floral one as the main background here, and then I did a little bit of stenciling over the top using, I think it was some white gesso I used for that. And I really like how that just then added another element to the page. It's really fun being able to stencil and stamp on top of printables. And then for this one, I used two different papers and just tore them up so that I could use them as kind of frames for my page at the top and the bottom. And I really like how that kind of breaks your writing up and just brings something interesting to your page. And finally, I used some of the papers to decorate these tags. These are some classic-y tags, but any kind of cardstock would be fine. And I've then just added a little quote on top, and I punched a hole and then just threaded some ribbon through them. So again, really nice to know. I'll keep these in a pot on my desk, and I know that they'll go well with any kind of neutral colour palette. But if I'm creating again with these papers, I'll know that I can use any of these tags as well. They'll go really nicely if I want to put them in tuck spots or pockets. And some of these I've then used some pressed flowers or pressed leaf stickers on top of the backgrounds. So I hope that helps to give you a feel and some ideas for how you'd be able to use them in your own journals. And today I'm going to be creating one of my favourite things. If you've been around on my channel for a while, you'll know that I love origami pockets. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. And I'm going to be creating a pocket of dreams in my journal. I thought that'd be a really nice thing to do for this year, to just have a think about some of the things we'd like to put in our journals this year, to bring into our lives this year, and then perhaps open them up in a year's time or something and just have a look back through the little dreams that we put in there. So the first thing I've done is select 2 different papers, and I'm going to use this for my background on my left hand page, and then I'm going to use this one to create my Origami Pocket, which will be gluing on top. So I'm just going to cut around there, get the white edges off, and then glue this onto my left hand page, and for that I'll be using Pritt Stick. Now I've got that glued down, I'm going to run a strip of washi tape along the centre here just to make sure that that paper doesn't lift up. I was thinking the other day about why I love printables so much. I buy lots from other creators too, and I think it's because I'm not tempted to hoard them in the way that I am with some other supplies where you feel that once they've gone, they've gone. With printables, because you can just keep printing them again and again, and if you've got a few favourite pages or something you want for a specific project, you're not limited by only being able to use them once or by however many are in the pack. So I think that really helps me to get creative and use them, and if I create something that isn't quite what I was hoping for, it doesn't mean that I've wasted anything, just that piece of paper and the ink to print it out. Okay, so we've now got the background added to that left-hand page. We're now going to move on to creating a pocket, and I'm using this green background with the circles on top, and I've just cut away the white edges. And the first thing we need for our pocket is a square. So I'm going to turn the paper with the pattern side down, because this would also be the first part of creating the origami envelope. So if you're using some different papers and following it along and they're already square, then just fold them on that diagonal point. And I'm then just going to trim off that edge here so that I've got the square. Once you've got your piece of paper looking like this, you want to fold this top corner down to the bottom. And I'm using a bone folding tool with mine just to get those nice and crisp, but the edge of a ruler or your finger will be fine. And I'm going to take this right corner, and you want to make sure it goes past this little center point down here. So I'm just bringing that across to there. And again, try and get these folds as nice and crisp as you can. And then I'm going to do the same with the other side. And we want to try and get them roughly equal. So I'm just looking for where this one folds over and trying to get it roughly level. Okay, get that nice and crisp. And now with this top corner, we're going to fold it back on itself. And you want this fold here to be roughly in line with your top corner of your envelope here. Again, try and get that nice and crisp. And then we're going to open this up. What you've created is kind of a little pocket here. So if you look inside, I've just got this little pocket, and you're going to press that flat. So bringing all of the little corners of that kind of diamond shape together. And then we're going to bring the top part of the envelope down. So I'm going to fold this to where the original fold is that you'll find on your paper. And then you can tuck this inside the little pocket that you've made there, and your origami envelope is all complete. And what I am probably going to do with mine is just pop a little bit of glue behind here to keep it nice and firm. And then I'm going to glue this onto my journal page. So just a couple of little dabs of glue where anything you can see is going to be loose. Quite a few of mine that are in my journals I haven't glued at all because they're nicely closed between the pages. Nothing's really going to happen to them, so it doesn't matter. But just to keep that a little bit firmer. And I'll add glue all over the back of here. I'm going to press this down nice and securely towards the bottom of my journal page, but you could put it anywhere you like. I've decided that I would quite like to pop a little label on mine. You could letter it straight on, but I've got this little printer by Brother. It's the P-Touch printer. So I'm just going to type out Pocket of Dreams and add that to my envelope. So with this one, I'm just going to snip off the edges. And I really like with this tape is it splits in half in the back, so it doesn't take a long time to be able to peel the backing away, as I do find with some other tapes. So I'm just going to pop that little heading on there. Pocket of Dreams. And I also want to add, I think, a little quote up here. These came from my Patreon printables. Because I want to add some little dreams in here. And I see it almost as kind of planting seeds for the year ahead. I don't want to limit the dreams that I put in there. Nothing is too big, too small, too silly. I'm just keeping an open heart and just thinking of the possibilities. And just popping that up there. And because I've got these strips of paper, I think I'm going to use these to write on the back of some of my little dreams, because then I can fold them up and pop them in the envelope so that the patterned papers are showing on the outside. So I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes now writing down some of my dreams for this year, and then I'll fold them up and put them in the envelope. So I've now written my dreams on the back of all of these. So I'm going to plant my little seeds inside my envelope here, and the aim is to come back and read these in a year's time and see how I've got on. You can add as many or as few to this little envelope as you like. I just think it's a really fun journaling exercise, and I love having little interactive elements in my journal. I'm now going to use this green dotted paper again, and I'm going to tear it roughly along the centre. I think that will make a nice frame for the top and the bottom of my page and help to bring these two pages together. So again, just going to glue those onto my page. I find with papers, It's just so quick and easy to get some thoughts down, do something really creative, but you don't need to have lots of supplies with you. If we're going away, papers is one of the things I tend to take with me, because I know I can still do some lovely creative journaling, and they also make nice frames for little photos for trips and things, just mounting them on papers like this. So I'm just going to add this bottom strip as well and then get these trimmed off. I'm now going to add this pressed leaf sticker which came from London Gifties. I really enjoy using stickers to just break up the writing space a little bit. And then I'm going to letter out the date along the top of my page using a Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen with a firm nib. And I'm now going to spend a few minutes jotting down some thoughts about the seeds I've just planted, what it's brought up for me, and kind of what I'm hoping for this year and just how I'm feeling at the moment. And for this, I'm using my Kaweco Sport fountain pen. Well, that is my journal writing now all added, and I've put that I'm approaching this year with a real sense of openness to possibilities. Whilst I have some concrete plans in place, I want to be gentle and see where I'm guided to next. I want to keep my heart open but also set boundaries where necessary to protect my energy. My seeds are now planted, so now I need to nurture them and keep pests out of the garden. Plenty of fresh air, sunshine, good food, care and hydration should do the job. There's a skill to staying open but not being distracted by the wrong things. It's definitely something for me to work on this year. So I know I'm often asked about what kind of things I write about, so I like to read at least a little bit of my journal pages so you can get a feel for kind of how I'm viewing things and then how I translate that into my journals. I really hope you've enjoyed this session today. I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I use the printables. I'll of course leave a link to these in my shop down below, but also if you're on Patreon on the top tier, you'll have received these as a bonus set of printables. If you're not on Patreon yet but are interested in joining, then obviously now would be a great time and you'd have access to those as well. So I'll leave a link to Patreon down below. As always, I do want to say a massive thank you to everybody who's already joined me on Patreon. Well, thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you're doing really well. I look forward to speaking with you really soon in my next video.